clean that up.
Okay.
Although it's water on my
Please,
seat.
on stream. I want to see the.
It's
I'm not
water.
gonna say that.
Given that we are live, I
Hello.
have to tell you the most wonderful message that I just got. This amazing pickup line. You ready for an amazing pickup line?
I don't know if I am ready, but we'll see.
You're not ready. You're not
As
ready.
long as it's directed at Decker in particular.
No, this was directed at me, I guess, or somebody, or Vinny just wanted to message me this, but it was, Ayo, I'm jealous of your heart because it's pumping inside your body and I'm not.
I think that's close
Here's
to
that.
TOS. Like that is something else right there.
Have you?
Isn't that
Never mind.
great?
I,
thing?
Let's see. Pop
I
up.
like that. You know, what an anti-joke is.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like,
You
have you heard anti-pickup
are
lines? I can't say them on a Twitch stream, but like, look up those after the stream, because that reminded me of that.
Swifty, you're just an anti-joke as a person.
This
You're
is true.
existent.
This is true.
You dropped the
Can't
app.
argue with
Yeah,
that one.
You dropped the app. There we go.
All right, what are we hydrating with today, boys?
I have.
Can I say what I'm
coffee.
hydrating with? Or is it loud?
Can I say it? It just
Or is
can't.
it-
Everyone here is an adult.
but is it
We're
Yeah,
like,
but like Twitch though.
yeah. Like,
No, yeah, you're fine on Twitch. As long as you don't promote. Like
I'm not
other
promoting
streamers.
anything. I'm just gonna.
not promoting anything. What is that?
It's a fun time nectar probably. This is water, but
Is that
This is sweet tea vodka from the heart of Texas.
does it have sweet tea and vodka in it? Is that real?
No, it's sweet tea vodka. It's like the vodka is flavored like sweet tea.
it's like
I don't-
Svedka, but
That's what this is.
Oh, I see.
No,
the
it's
brand.
not like Svedka. It's better than
it's the good,
mostly better than Svedka.
the good.
This is Highland Park 12. This is Scotch. It's very good.
Ooh.
This is a cup of coffee.
Do I just pour
This is
something
for
now?
later. This is a glass of strawberry chocolate milk.
Nice.
Okay,
Strawberry chocolate.
explain to me why
Wait,
strawberry is
chocolate.
good in milk. Why is the strawberry flavor with the milk texture a good
It's
thing?
a
Strawberry.
Japanese thing.
Have you ever had strawberry shortbread, right?
Yeah.
Have I?
Have you? Remember
Strawberry
strawberry shortcake, right?
shortbread.
Like where you basically.
I'm not Googling it right now at all. And my
Oh,
not
man.
Googling has told me I've not had that before.
So, I'm just saying, like it good.
It good.
So you have strawberry and chocolate in there? Because I've had
Yeah,
strawberry
yes.
milk and I've had chocolate milk, but I've never had both.
I did both.
Okay.
I also
powder,
have
or is it
or syrups.
syrup? Okay.
Both Hershey's brand. I also have a
Oh, you did the.
homemade curry. That's
Yeah.
also what I have for dinner.
Yeah, your persona.
I
curry,
have
right?
I have a chicken wing in a bag.
Oh, I also have that. I have a plate of chicken katsu for that.
Mhm.
All right. Hey,
I'm really
Alrighty.
excited about this.
welcome to Silver Scraps episode what?
Episode-
Season 3 playoff episode 1.
I think I need to turn. I'm gonna go ahead and turn
Every-
Lever up. 'cause I can
we
already
need to
assume I'm gonna
add-
turn him up some.
As many qualifiers as possible, so every episode is just episode 1 of the thing.
So let me say
So
this.
like,
Let me say this. This is the first episode that all four of us have been on before.
Yeah.
correct.
We,
That
picked,
is correct.
we picked up Swifty and did 2 episodes without,
Two or
Text?
three. So
Yeah.
and then I
Two
was
episodes
out,
without text.
I was out last week. So
Mhm.
Yeah. And honestly, I'll say last week, probably our best episode we've had since we started.
words hurt. Words hurt.
So in realness though, if we look at like the section, even though it's been longer than a calendar year, right? This would officially be like the 1-year anniversary of us doing this show because we started summer
Week 1 of
2020
playoffs in summer.
Week 1, summer 2020 playoffs.
That's awesome.
That
Wow.
is pretty cool.
We've been doing this for a year.
Yeah.
It
I
feels
haven't.
like so
Very
much longer.
inconsistently.
You know, what I'm finding is we consistently have breaks in the mid-season.
Because there's just not much to talk about, right? Whenever
Yeah.
I think that with if we did some different things with the format, unfortunately, like teams dropping really ruined a lot of the internal competition. Like that's the thing. Like that's something that we're working on trying to fix.
I'll agree with that. one of the things going forward is definitely trying to like this season we put a lot of work into trying to hammering out our start and end of season regular season stuff. Before that, last 2 seasons we were really just trying to get our feet under ourselves. I think we've got our playoff structure down, which I'll throw it over to Decker in a moment to explain a bit. But going forward, it'll be fun to try to experiment with the format in the mid-season and try to figure out what we can do. Because I think it's kind of consistent that we end up in a situation as IBS, a league, where all the drama from an organizational perspective happens in the mid-season, right? Teams drop, teams change significantly, and then that has ramifications in the late season, end of season stuff. But anyways, Decker, do you want to try to walk through what we're doing today?
Let's do it. Yeah. So what we're doing today is pretty common. This is season 3 of Silver Scraps. What we do when playoffs hit is we sort of adopt teams. So we've all sort of adopted 1 or 2 teams depending on who you are, and our job is to argue why that team is going to win this week of play. And then next week we will switch team. Are we switching teams next week? That's right.
We are going to switch teams because
we're switching teams next week. So
Keep it fresh.
keep it fresh. Yeah. So some of them are going to be easier to argue. Some of them are going to be harder. Some of them we have information on. Some of them we don't. So as usual with Silver Scraps, there's going to be a lot of speculation and made up numbers. But also, we don't have numbers from Tex this year. This is our first not Tex numbers playoff scenario.
Yeah,
Right?
I will be relying on. So usually I go
On the
through and
stats
do a lot.
of what you say to me? Wisdom.
Of wisdom.
What you saying to me,
Yeah,
wisdom?
yeah.
Mat stats. We're gonna be relying on the mat stats, and so I usually come in with. I like to come in with a lot of like gold at 15 advantage stuff, CS at 15 stuff. But you know what happened this year? It's been life. This season, life has been crazy. But our
We
boy
also-
Wisdom with the mat stats coming in clutch.
We also have some debts to be paid on this episode of Silver Scraps, which I'm
Yes,
pretty
we do.
excited about. As you guys discussed last week, based off of just correct predictions, Leper was the most wrong of our irrational predictions episode. I wasn't here to defend it, but I was still on board with my math that made Tex the most wrong. I liked that much better, if I'm being honest. But we'll take Leper being the most wrong. And because of that, can you hold it up, Leper? Can you show everybody what we've got for us? A little higher.
Back it up a little bit. Back it up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Some-
Decker, I got a quote for you.
Oh,
This is
Oh, sorry,
the
go for it, go for
last jab.
The last
I
dab.
believe
Oh, my
Redux.
goodness.
Is it the Redux edition? Season like
50 is
13?
an expert in this shit.
Oh yeah, I live by
Also,
and
Leper,
have
you're
been to
muted.
Hedonist in Brooklyn that makes all the hot sauces for it.
Yeah.
Love me.
yeah, my wife was talking to me.
Is
Yeah,
that
no.
Hedonist 1? Like
So
Hedonist 2,
yes,
right?
this I
That
believe
joke.
it's the Redux because I don't think they sell the original anymore.
So we'll save that
Yeah.
for the end of the show, right?
Because we're going to be talking about arguably, in my opinion, the most hype-ish matchup of the day.
Well, let's jump into
Should-
it. Or do you want to say something, Swifty? You got
Should I pull my half of the deal out?
yeah, Swifty. Go ahead.
So I obviously wasn't here to make predictions, so I couldn't be wrong. And part of
They
me
also
felt
could be
bad.
right.
I also couldn't be right, and part of me felt bad for that. And just because I also am a hot sauce aficionado, like our boy Leper, I have a bottle of the Apollo Last Dab sauce that I will be doing with Leper for his punishment.
And I will be doing neither of those things, so I'll be over here enjoying my evening instead of whatever.
Decker,
you-
cheers.
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 Cheers,
Dink.
buddy. But hey,
All right.
let's get into the games. We've got a
do
few
it.
games coming up tonight. One of them was happening that's not happening, unfortunately. Unfortunately, because what team dropped? It was
LGC Spartans.
LGC Spartans.
dropped, so the Hive Mind LGC game is a wash. But a quick rundown is we have TFF Solar Flare versus RAR, Goon Squad Gaming Delta versus Same Strategy, and TD Shadow versus Hyperion IBS. So we're going to get into those matchups. I think we agreed beforehand we're going to start with TFF Solar Flare versus RAR. Who is championing those teams? Who do we have?
Oh,
That's not me.
I always like to take RAR when they're in playoffs.
All right, so Tex has
Which has
RAR,
been twice.
and who do we have on TFF?
I've been here.
Isn't that you?
No, I have TD Shadow. At least I hope.
And
I
I thought I had TD Shadow.
Uh-oh.
Organa, you is wrong. Maybe you both get TD Shadow.
Hey,
wanna
you know
double
what's
it?
gonna happen here is my lack of preparedness is going to be not overshadowed, but equally shadowed.
So then, just so that I
Shadowed.
can make a case for TFF real quick here.
I'm checking our logs right now to see which
Check
one
the
was
logs. Yeah. What's
crazy.
the messages say?
What do you think?
In that message.
Tex, who was wrong, me or Leper? What do you think?
Oh, I'm not okay. So not looking at the chat. So it's Decker
Fuck,
and the
it's me.
glorious hair.
Damn it, I was so wrong. Okay, yeah, okay. How about this? How about we start with another matchup and then let me pull up some TFF Aftershock. I am so prepped for TD Shadow,
Okay.
just so you know.
Okay, so is there a matchup that Leper and I can do so that we save the hot sauce one for
We can
For later?
we can do start with Delta and
All right.
save strategy.
Okay, so
All right.
Delta, Tex is starting with Delta, right? And then Leopard, you have same strategy. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
This is what I have. I decided this is what we're gonna do. I have a coin. This is a quarter.
Oh
right?
fuck.
So we'll say the winner of the call goes first. So Tex, what
All
would
right.
you
I
like?
have the timer up, by the way.
What would you like, Tex?
The one that doesn't win.
Is it heads?
Tails.
All right, it's heads. Okay, so Leopard will go
I
first.
gotta do a little prep.
Ready? Leper, I'm gonna give you a countdown, and we're doing 10 minutes per side.
Yeah. I have a total of 10 minutes to make this case. Here we go.
3, 2, 1. You're on.
Okay, so this is what it's going to come down to with GSG Delta versus Same Strategy. Same Strategy is absolutely going to win this game through the might of nobody knows what we're going to be doing. I don't think they know entirely what they're going to do because unlike our namesake, we are doing a different strategy this week. We've got 5 new players here. We've got all these kinds of things going up. But memes aside about the Same Strategy name and a team that has played 8 different rosters this split, we actually have one of our strongest iterations here. You've got Jurassic in the top lane that I think is going to be more than a match for one hand. Both of these top laners do play to the map rather than more of their lane. Their kill participation is rather high, and I personally think that Jurassic is the champ pool here to be able to pull this out. One hand does rely on some of those cheesy picks, and Jurassic a little more traditional. In the jungle, where our power lies, right? We have Soul Aster, I think is how you say it.
Solaster.
Soul Aster, right? So, essentially, at the end of the day, all of this, it's going to come down to mid-jungle, right? Unfortunately, Axel 14, whatever numbers.
Axel
F-tier name.
1140. I remember it
I know
explicitly.
you know. I know you do. and that was a Q tier name, if I'm remembering correctly. I mean, at least Same Strategy has the edge as far as names go, for sure. Anyway, my brain died for a second. God damn it.
Hit the restart button. Hit the restart button, Leopard.
So, it's one of those things as well that Solaster and Chair Force 1 are the ones that when Same Strategy has looked strong, it has come on the back of these two people making things work. We've got old sad boy Summer coming back, the mind lane himself, going to be wreaking havoc from the bot lane, and I'm not entirely sure who's going to show up for support today, so I can't talk about that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's Snowflower.
Snowflower. Okay, Snowflower is fucking awesome. Queen Frost is amazing. I'm so sorry. Like that's if that's the roster. I mean, this is probably the best roster that we've had all split. It's gonna come off of the mid and jungle, right? You've got an AD carry that definitely can pop off, and as things start rolling the way they're not gonna let off the accelerator. Things are gonna keep going and keep going and keep going, and we're gonna just run the same strategy all 3 games. Well, 2 games because it's a best of 3.
Is it gonna be 2 games though?
It's going to be 2 games. It's going to be 2 games. Because this is the thing, right? Unfortunately, GSG Delta, if GSG Delta does not get to play their game, and we are running the same strategy, you just lose, right? Because we're running the same strategy every game. And if it wins in one game and you don't get to play the game, we don't get to.
I'm refusing you any humor. No humor for you.
No humor for me. No humor for me. I understand. I guess I deserve that.
You deserve many things, Leper, and it's all joy and happiness, except for this conversation right now, because I don't think.
My final point here is this might sound like flame, and I don't mean it as flame. Like, I've played in this position that same strategy is before, and have come out on top, mainly due to this mindset, right? Same strategy has nothing to lose. There is absolutely nothing that they are fighting for. They don't have anything to defend. Nobody overall, even though I have adopted same strategy is a heavy underdog here. There is everything on the line. They can put everything out on the table, and if they lose, well, that was the expected result, and that's a heck of a lot easier mental state to navigate than being the heavy favorite with a lot of pressure on you. And the fact that there is no pressure on same strategy is going to allow them to play a heck of a lot more free, allow them to play unrestricted, allow them to be able to dominate the way that they can. This is a roster with the roster that we've been reported that we have to play tonight that is incredibly strong individually. These are, for the most part, players that have made their name, played in gold, played in other leagues, and this is not an amateur or joke of a roster. This is a roster that is full of serious players that know what they're doing. And if they get the ball rolling underneath them, then it is not going to be something low. And I wish I had more specific detail. It's just really hard to talk about a team that has never played before, right?
So I'm currently looking at the wonderful and beautiful, and I'm going to try to steal the spotlight from you here, sir, if that's all right.
And that's fine. I've got nothing else to go on. So
I am looking at the wonderful and beautiful Mad Stats, and I am just trying to scroll to find the eventual bottom of the sheet for same strategy. And I got to tell you, that's not a very
you got to hit Control F.
I'm just scrolling here, and I'm scrolling, and I'm scrolling, and I'm scrolling, and there's the bottom. There's the bottom. No, that's a little bit of flame. It's a little bit of humor. Haha. No, so to try to take what you're talking about here, this is a team that is composed of players that absolutely can succeed. I would say what I'm seeing is this is a roster that needed to be put together in week 1. They're pulling a brick or flip Shogun Esports style roster in the first week of playoffs instead of in the first week of the season, right?
Yep.
While Shogun dropped from this split, their history is bunch of people that are really good individually or have experience in the scene, don't play well together for the first 2 weeks, figure it out later on. That's what I'm seeing from the same strategy from what you've described, what I'm thinking. And on the flip side, we've got a team that has been together and through the ringer. You talk about a team that's got nothing to lose. I'm looking at a team that's lost everything and still kept on going, right?
Yep.
Literally, this team has lost everything in the past. And they powered through. They're learners. They're adapters. I do not think, at a minimum, this series will be a 2-0 sweep. I'm calling that it's going to be at least a 2-1. That's my gut. And I think that it's going to be worst case is 2-1 in favor of GSG. They are a team. Delta is a team that has beaten the competition like same strategy in LGC, right? And I believe Hyperion. They've beaten those guys ahead already in this split, right? So they have proven to themselves that they're the barrier to entry for teams like Same Strategy, like LGC, like Hyperion, even like Hivemind to a degree, right? I think Delta's to go to the Mad Stats to talk constructively about this team and their win conditions. To me, it's the mid game, right? It's the opportunities for the team play around the mid lane, right? It's going to be contentious. Axel versus, I believe it's Chairforce, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So Axel versus Chairforce is going to be contentious. It's going to be a skill matchup, not just between the two of them, but between the impact that the jungle and supports can have on that mid lane to set themselves up to control the waves, to control the map, to set up for dragons, right? Salamander speak. Before I start talking about that too much, I want to quickly highlight why I'm saying this. Everyone from One Hand to Salamander to Axel to Finch to Chubby, everyone from all the games I'm seeing on Mad Stats have over 60% for the vast majority of their games, 60% kill participation on the team. Almost every game. And that's not just a few members, that's the entire team. This is a team that, win or loss, is playing through team fights, is playing together. And when they are winning, it's oftentimes through this mid-game cohesion. So a team that's been struggling to find an identity, to find a strategy that's consistent, versus a team that has at least an identity. While they have struggled against top-tier teams, they've had success against lower-tier teams. I think this is going to, by nature of consistency, and with the strengths that they have in the top lane, the mid, the jungle, even the support, right? Can't forget to talk about Chubby. The guy is a beast in the support role. Racks up massive KDAs with low deaths. From my experience playing against him, at times through a lot of roaming and through a lot of lane dominance, right? This guy can kind of do it all. They've got these pieces that have learned to work together. I think that's going to be the factor that puts them over same strategy. I'm going to call it 2-1 in favor of GSG Delta because of that. I know we weren't necessarily going into this with 2-0, 2-1 or whatever, but I just wanted to call that. Retort! Leopard, you got anything?
Unfortunately, I don't, because again, it's a team that this is the first iteration that they've played together. I think you're absolutely right. Like, I think that we would be talking a little differently about same strategy here if they had run this strategy all season.
Yeah, I agree.
If they stuck with the same strategy.
If they had stuck with the same strategy. If they
we'd
went
be
back in
talking
time,
about a different strategy.
In the past, we have done input from the audience, in this case, Decker and Swifty, on who they think won the debate.
On who won
Or
the
even
debate?
give critical feedback.
Okay, my critical feedback is that you both lose. And here's why.
Okay.
Here's why.
I deserve that.
That's pretty consistent. Yeah.
I'm kidding. I actually just wanted to say that. I don't think you both lose. You both win. You both win. It's hard. I think you both did an excellent job, right? I think the argument for Leper side is a bit of an uphill battle when you're dealing with 14 players, like over the course of a season. I think it's hard as an analyst to therefore grasp onto something and say this is recipe for success. Like, they have the tools here. This is what they need to do. And when things are being shifted up, it's obviously hard for Leopard to make an argument outside of the very wonderful points he brought up. But
I do think, and I mean it seriously, that the biggest advantage that same strategy has going into this game is the fact that they have the ability to play incredibly free.
Yeah. I mean, and if you're looking at just from a standings perspective, the teams are only separated by one win in game record. So I don't even know, if same strategy was using a roster, maybe that they used a couple weeks ago, I would be more on board with I think this is a upset. This is they're aiming for an upset, but I'm absolutely on board with Lepers. Like, this is same strategy's putting forward their best foot by far that they have put forward the entire split. And when you look at the numbers look like this could be a potentially very, very close match and not
Absolutely.
decided in any way.
When same strategy is able, it wins. They win very hard. It's not like they're creeping out these late game wins with like a late team fight or something like that. When they win, they're working together. They're keeping their foot on the accelerator. Everybody's involved for the most part in what's happening.
Cool. Anything else to
All
say,
right.
guys, on that matchup? What do you think, Swifty? What's your prediction for this matchup?
for this matchup,
You're the objective-
I don't know.
you're the
I
objective
guess-
force here.
okay, so I'm gonna first say that I'm gonna agree with Texas 2-1 call. However, I will add that I think, particularly for two reasons, that no one should feel like any one of these games is set in stone. The first being there was a very limited number of games in the regular season. That's not like a shot at like there should have been more games. That's just when you have this many teams in this sort of format, there inevitably will be less information to go off of moving into playoffs. What that means is that you're going to have, less of an idea of where teams are going to fall with respect to teams they haven't really seen before, or haven't played a lot. I think the second reason being that when you're dealing with, and again, this isn't a shot at like the ELO bracket per se, but I think when you're dealing in an IBS league, there is far more potential for upsets. I think there are a lot of teams that can perform maybe at this level with one style of play and at this level with another style of play. And I think that teams are going to be more prepared to be handling certain types of opposition and far less equipped to be handling something else. Maybe there's a team that doesn't really know how to handle like splitting the map. And it's a team that's just super focused on how to win team fights into another team fighting comp. You know, I think there's a lot more room for people to be unprepared for things in an IBS competitive league. And I think for that reason, if there are teams that have understood that and then move into playoffs, knowing that, hey, maybe if we're the underdogs in this matchup, we can throw something new out on the table, there is a very, very big potential for upsets moving forward. And I think that applies to every game. But yeah, going back to my first part, I do agree with Chex. So
I want to see a lot. You've hit something I want to see. My last comment is I want to see some weird shit. Right? This is week 1 of playoffs. This is two teams that are both struggling through the regular season and have opportunity to really show some highlights. Right? Like get out there, play comfort. If it's exciting, play something that makes you feel good to play the game, and show us what you guys can do when you're living in the middle of the competition. When you're in the middle of the pack like you are, you get to scrap a lot. So show us what that's given you, and make it an exciting match, you know. But I want to make sure we wrap it up. That's
let's do that.
Delta, that's Delta versus
Same strategy.
Which
Which
Sorry,
is going to be one of our stream.
that's a
matches
weird
tonight.
word for that team.
Yeah.
Same.
Which will be like that'll
Drinks.
be one of our stream matches tonight. I think that'll be on this channel. So if you want to watch that, make sure to stick around here. Let's pop back up to TFF Solar Flare and RAR, which I'm incredibly prepared for.
Holy
now.
fuck, me too, dude.
Do you want to flip? You want
Alright.
to call it again? Call it again, text.
Yeah. Let's go the other direction here and say heads.
It is tails. All right, you are 0 for 2. You're loving it though. Okay,
I'm loving it.
So first off, I want to apologize to TFF Solar Flare. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had you. I'm a little less prepared than I thought. But luckily, looking at your stats and looking at your wins or your not your wins, your game history, it's a really easy argument for me to make. One thing is when you look at the game history and the stats for TFF Solar Flare, you see consistency in their players, right? You see 6 players on their stats page, so they've had a sub for 1 week. So the majority of the 5 players have played all 5 weeks together, with 1 week being an exception where they had someone subbed out. But I think there's an edge to teams when they have the same 5 people. They know each other. They know how each other plays. That's a big benefit, especially in like gold, silver, and the low elo tournaments. Like having familiarity with each other is incredibly important because usually for gold and silver leagues, communication is a big point of struggle. So when you've played with someone over the course of the split, communication matters slightly less. It still matters a lot, but it matters a little less when you kind of have an idea of what each other wants to do. I don't want to talk about their wins. Their past 2 wins have been huge numbers from honestly everybody. Like they've put up incredible numbers. Like looking at the stat sheet, this team looks like they are absolutely monsters. And by the way, to roll down the roster, what I have is Downfall, Rocky, Lingmo, the Yes Parade, and Bickle. Bickle? Did I say that right? Bicklil. I can't. I should have asked.
Bickle.
Bickle.
I don't know.
Someone, he said, I think you're in the chat. Phonetically, tell me how you say your name. I want to get it right, so I apologize if I get it wrong. But looking at their loss, and not only their most recent loss, but their loss to Rev, right? The what is still currently the favorite team to come out of the tournament, I think is pretty fair to say that they are still the favorite. I want to see even in Bickle like pickle, perfect. That's easy. Even in this loss, all right, you have one 40-minute banger against Rev, right? And anytime a team can go 40 minutes against the projected winner of the entire league, I give that a win to you. And then a slightly worse 29-minute game after that. But looking at these two losses, what the performer that stands out, and I'm sure we talked about this early on in the season, is that Lingmo, Fangrui, whatever other names that they went by, is absolutely at the center of this team in the mid lane, putting up really strong numbers. I mean, in a losing game, right, in a 40-minute losing game on Corki, 11-4-2, and in a losing 30-minute game on Kennen, 6-3-4. Like great KDA numbers, great CS numbers. Still in a loss, in that 40-minute loss, 339 CS. I mean, great CS numbers across the board for most people. But looking at Lingmo, you see a consistent 7 to 8 CS a minute across their games. And you see a really high KP from this player as well. It's very obvious that most of the fighting is happening around Lingmo, and Lingmo is able to pull off these fights really well. This is an absolute team fighting team. You can look across all of their stats. The thing that impresses me the most is that their KPs across the board are consistently very high, or 60 to 70%. Obviously, some dip down in the 50%, but a 60 to 70% in almost every single game. There's only one game that I can see that they had less than the 50 KP. I mean, that is a team that has played together for an entire split and knows where their win conditions are and just likes to fight you. And they beat you when they fight you. So you don't want to fight them because they're going to beat you. But the crux of IBS, I think, is team fighting. Like the teams that can team fight better will win more often than the teams that can't, that rely on things like split pushing and things like that. Those are harder to pull off in like gold, silver, low elo tournaments. So my argument for TFF, they are an incredibly strong team that knows their identity. They know what they're good at, and they consistently do it. And even in their losses, they're still showing that they can play to their win condition. It just might not work out. So I believe in TFF. I think this is going to be a 2-0 win for TFF. I'm biased. They're my team, but that's where I'm at. Objectively, I think it's going to be a 2-0 win for TFF.
Compared to the last matchup that we just talked about, this one is a lot starker of a contrast between the two teams that are involved, in my opinion. All right, we're coming in with, if I'm looking at it right, TFF Solar Flare is coming in 3-2, as long as it's updated correctly, on the season, and RAR's coming in with 1 win on the season, with a number of like FF situations on their own side, right? So it's a team. Consistency of playing together is going to be a huge element of how this game plays out. The uphill battle for RAR, I think, is going to play out in those games that go long. They have had their most success, from what I'm looking at, they've had their most success on games that go to the 40-minute plus mark. And if they can take a team like TFF Solar Flare to that late game, survive the team fights, right? When I'm looking at the stats from the side of RAR, their bot lane needs to survive. Their bot lane needs to hold on. I'm not survive laning. I'm not talking to survive laning phase. Don't bleed during the laning phase. Don't bleed during the mid game. Get to that late game. It's play a game of attrition, right? If RAR is going to win this, this is going to be probably the longest series we'll see. It'll be the quickest 2-0 or the longest 2-1. One way or the other, right? Like TFF's going to either 2-0 in quick succession. They're going to leverage their skills. They're going to come out swinging. But I think the way that RAR wins this is with those games of attrition, draft durability, draft stuff that can absorb team fights, that can scale okay into the late game, and set themselves up for the point where the relative skill disparity and consistency of teams might not matter so much, where we're like even little mistakes get blown out of proportion, right? Because even when you're, I'm so sorry, that was a burp. Sorry, you guys.
It's like silent though.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. I just saw the.
I didn't hear it.
You know, like you muscled
I felt
right through it.
Deep in my chest right there. Okay, we're back at it. So, RAR doesn't have the advantage of the consistent roster, like as consistent roster as TFF does. RAR doesn't have the advantage of the success and skills that TFF have developed. RAR's win condition to me is going to come out in the draft, and it comes out in the mid game. How much neutral objectives are they going to bleed to TFF? The less of those that they bleed through those mid-game team fights that TFF are going to look for, the higher chance of success they're going to have. And I think they can execute on that with the right mentality and the right drafts, right? You got to get the spot lane, which I see when they lose, the bot lane's bleeding and the top lane is kind of suffering for it and the mid lane's suffering for it, right? But when they win, the bot lane's not necessarily going off, but they're not bleeding, and that seems to be a big element for them. So it's an uphill battle, but I want to see them absorb that pressure in the lane phase, absorb those team fights. You don't necessarily need to go in and win every fight, but you also don't want to go in and lose every fight. You just need to be able to stabilize to the point that a team, you can kind of put this pressure on a team that, like you talked about the Revolution game, right? You take a team to 40 minutes, win or lose. If you're comfortable living in that 40-minute space, you don't care, right? But if you take a team that's used to winning and or playing their games out in 30 minutes and you take it to 40 and it's exhausting and you've dragged that game out, you play that mental game, right? The classic RAR, right? Mental chess that's going to be going on. Take it to 40 minutes. Take it to 40 minutes. Survive, absorb pressure. That's going to get you that 2-1 win that you're probably going to need. All right, that's my take.
Yeah,
it's a huge uphill battle.
I do
huge uphill battle.
I want to highlight too. I think for Bickle, I love Bickle's champ pool. They play all the champions that I love. Anytime I see supports locking in a Mumu, they are instantly like my fan. There's no reason if you're a support to not be playing a Mumu right now. Now there'll be a reason in about one patch to not play him. It's yeah, they literally killed my boy. But I love seeing the Mumu play. I like seeing their drafts are always super solid, very Wombo team fighty with some flex picks in there. I'm just a fan of this team, and I am excited to see them play tonight. On ultimately what is the other stream game? Nope, no, they're not on stream tonight. Leper, you muted.
The win condition for RAR, I really do think, from everything you've talked about and everything I'm feeling in my gut from what I'm looking at, is going to be in the draft. It's going to be in the draft. Of course, execution is the primary thing, but what's going to set them up to have a possibly better execution is drafting. Can you deny TFF the easiest possible Wombo combo or even that medium difficulty Wombo combo, right? Make them play the harder to execute, harder to succeed on Wombo combos, team fights for that mid-game stuff, and draft yourself something safe. It's going to be a really difficult best of 3 for RAR.
Swifty, Leper. Thoughts? Leper, you're muted. I'm not sure if you know that.
I'm here.
Yeah. Your turn.
Oh, so it's one of those other issues. Again, it's when you have a 10-man roster with 12 plus players, it's hard to make a case for anything. It's hard. It really is difficult. That unfortunately seems to be a common thread of the bottom end teams. This split has been constant roster.
Gotta go back to the Book of Colonel and just don't change your roster.
Don't do it.
We've talked about it a lot, right? Like we have talked about it a lot, and it is the single most thing that takes any potential out of your team. Changing one or two people is a thing. Like it happens. Stuff goes on. Don't get me wrong, but like when you've got 10 players on a roster and you're still swapping people in and out, it's not exactly a great thing.
Like,
and I think Text has made an admirable case for it, which is for something that is again a really arguably a stronger uphill battle than same strategy, running the different strategy, but calling it the same strategy. So I guess technically it's the same strategy. I'm getting lost in strategy puns.
Just roll it down. You got this.
I think that unfortunately, like it's so hard to make a case there, and I put my eggs all in the TFF basket here.
I think one of the challenges with rosters is when they're losing hard at the start of a season. You have to make a decision for yourself as whoever's managing the team or even the roster themselves. What kind of team do you want to be? And a lot of times the decision is made very superficially, and it's to be, and this is not necessarily like a point at RAR or anyone, this is experience I've had in the last year and a half, almost 2 years of doing this stuff. No, sorry, year and a half. It's not even close to 2 years. Sorry, year and a half.
Well, isn't that close to 2 years though? Relativity. Anyway, keep going.
I don't have my stats. I don't have my stats, so I can't do my numbers. Anyways, so the chat, what I was going to get at is like one of the pitfalls of trying to address this question of are we going to be a team that wins or are we going to be a team that grows? And if you're going to go down the superficial direction, we want to be a team that wins, so we're going to get the best players together as possible. You're just taking a gamble. What you're doing is you're rolling a 10% you're rolling the dice and you're looking at a 10% chance you actually win if you're just going to cobble together really good pieces. Because I've seen teams that have been cobbled together good pieces and they've fallen apart entirely because of that decision-making process. The only way to truly have success consistently is to go into it with the growth mindset. Consistency, durability, and tenacity, right? Like, keep your team together, keep your team motivated, and make sure that you know how to lose. If you don't know how to lose, you're not going to be able to win. That's just, I know that sounds kind of dumb and like some Madden
it's a huge part of
type
league,
commentary, but
no, yeah, understanding how to like lose like a winning team, I think is one of the best ways to get better at League. It's a weird thing to say, but and I also want to touch on a point that you just brought up about if you want to be a team that grows or a team that wins. I will say on one side, I don't think that those two things are mutually exclusive.
Yep.
I think you may not have the best roster on paper, but I do think a team with the not best roster on paper can grow to win. However, I will recognize that sometimes if there's a team that makes a few roster movements and brings on powerhouses, like maybe they're just going to still shit on your team, which it'll happen, right? And if you're the team that's sticking with all of your players, there's not a lot you can do in the face of that, which sucks. However, I do think that the weak links on the team that just grabs people will never get better at League. So, I think there's something admirable and very helpful about sticking with the same roster in that respect.
On top of that, too, you have to think about it like this. And this is I am not the best expert for this. I've been the same rank for 3 years, right? Like, I have not really gotten better, even though I have gotten better as a player, right? Like,
you gotta do it with me, man.
I have not gotten better. There's a player out there that tried out for GSG Delta back at the end of July that just hit Plat 4 yesterday.
Yep.
So it is not a thing that you should, like, people can get so much better given the opportunity, given resources, given attention, over the period of an entire split, right? Like, this is a player that went from, yes, Para, that went from Silver 2, I think, at the beginning of this split time that we're talking about, and hit Plat 4 yesterday. I've seen it happen so many times where we have a player that goes from being a silver player at the beginning of the split to within a couple weeks to a month after that hitting Plat. And I don't mean that in the sense of, oh, they're elo sitting or whatever. I mean it more in the sense that people can improve. If you are the motivated, if you want to get better, if you want to be that person, you can absolutely do it. Weirdly, it's mainly top laners. Don't ask me why that is, but that's the way that it goes.
Well,
yeah. I did it too, right before ZGG, right? I was like gold 4 heading into ZGG, and then as of recently hit Plat 4. I think a lot of that's mindset, Thank you guys.
Dude, mindset. I tell you, it's this everywhere you go. There's a reason that ranks exist. Silver, gold, platinum, it's all the same shit with a different color.
Yeah, it's just
you're
shiny.
as good when you level up your skill, you're going to be going into a level you're going to be as good as everyone, proportionally as good to everyone around you as you were when you were in silver. You're just not better than those people that are in silver. And you're going to run into the same issues with teams and players at every rank. So it's how you build a team. But we're getting off track.
Yeah, let's move on to our last.
This is one of the fun parts, though.
Yeah, so our last,
Sorry, go ahead, Decker.
last setup that we have is TD Shadow and Hyperion IBS. So we have on the side of TD Shadow is Mr. Leper Koopa, and on the side of Hyperion IBS is Swifty himself. So what we're gonna do is they're both going to coat their chicken product. One is a wing.
Can we see some of the action?
I'll show you guys the action such that It doesn't look like it's cheating.
So the idea.
The wing is
so
kind of cold at this point.
Let's think this through, boys.
How much we
before
doing, big guy?
Let's think this through real quick, okay? Because I think
I'm going
I
for
think
it.
what should probably happen is one of you should eat yours and then make your point, and the other one doesn't eat yours until your point. Time to
Ooh,
make your point.
Okay, so
Yes.
who's going first?
Yeah. Oh, I got.
Let's coin flip it.
I lost my coin. I got another one. All right. Swifty, let's let you call it.
Heads.
All right. Just so I'm gonna show it this time so we can say this. That is a heads. Okay. So
I'm first.
Swifty, that is you first with defending Hyperion IBS. So let's see your last dab.
All right, so I'm gonna toss the wing and then I'm gonna put the dab on top,
Okay.
like to actually last dab it. All right.
Then I will go, while you're doing this, I will go get a bag so we can follow the same procedure here.
That is a generous amount. That is
He's
a
going
generous-
hard.
This is not something that
For anyone who hasn't had the, go ahead.
But for anyone who hasn't had this, do not do this at home.
I'm so
I'm gonna
happy
tell you that right now.
that I didn't lose because I can't handle this. This doesn't work. I can't. My wife
I just
bought
got-
my wife bought some pickles that were spicy and I can't eat them. They're too much for me. Like I'm a little bitch when it comes to spice.
Hey, everyone
potent.
has
Okay.
their own lot in life.
So
and
as I'm
that's just
doing
a
this,
lot
so
yourself.
I'm gonna talk while I'm doing this, not about the team. I will say that okay. So you guys can see the remnants of kind of that. The wing is underneath here,
Yeah.
fully tossed in there.
Mhm.
I obviously came into this a little bit late in the game, coming from the Yet to Be Named Gold pre-show.
This is terrible.
So I'm a little bit more unfamiliar with all of these teams and individual players. Obviously, with my name thing from last time, as y'all are. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a poetic approach to this. Is what I'll say. So on top of
Okay.
that, I'm gonna last dab it, Leper.
This is the worst thing we've ever done.
He
We've done a
did
lot of-
it. He's coded it and then is dabbing it
we've
like
done
in Monster.
a lot of terrible things, but this is the worst.
Also, I have a canker sore. Not even lying.
Yeah.
So this.
Yeah, it's probably not stream appropriate, but you did show it to me. I can verify it is there, and it's gonna hurt.
All right, there's my
Dude,
dab, right in the middle.
This is why our pre-show preparation has
So-
gone downhill.
Now, without
Ever since Swifty joined.
further ado, this will be here to wipe my fingies.
Your thing is.
Sweet Mother Mary and Joseph. Here we go. I'm gonna clean it and then I'll talk about you, Hyperion.
Okay. I'm excited to hear y'all's points. It's gonna be really, really.
Oh,
well.
he is going at it.
You
Let's
have
go,
to.
Swifty.
You just gotta go for it.
Get at it. You can't
Also-
you can't dance around it. You need to get in there.
Also, I'm not in the bone-in gang. All right, Hyperion IBS, Swifty.
Hyperion IBS. So, this is a team that went 1 and holy fuck.
I don't think that was the official record, but it was something.
They went 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Not a great start. However, there was one thing that I picked up on when I saw Matt's stats about this team. It's really hot in this room. Is that the one game that this team won was with the roster that is moving into the playoffs. And I think the way that this team wins is going to be to lean heavily into my champion. I already don't know where I put my thingy. Church of Asol, aka renamed to 3 minutes. I think this player played one series.
Yeah.
With Hyperion IBS and put up impressive numbers. I think jungle is a very strong role right now. I'm a jungler. I think if they can lean into the type of performance that came out in that series, that this team can do very well. On top of this, in the more poetic fashion, the name Hyperion comes from a Greek titan, the father of Helios, the titan of the sun. As I'm wiping fucking tears from my face.
Watch,
The titan of the
watch your
sun.
eyes, buddy.
I know. I've done this before. TD Shadow. I think that's all they are. The remnants of what was a shadow setting upon a team that is about to get upset. And Hyperion, like their namesake, will rise. A new dawn, like Hyperion the Titan, like Helios, upon Eos, the new Earth or whatever the hell it is. And I think this team has so much more in the bag than anyone's going to give them credit for. I personally had the pleasure of playing Minimi in Gold League, believe it or not. Minimi had a sub in for Hyperion. I think there's something there. I think there's absolutely something there. And I understand that TD Shadow has one more win, but that's all that is. One more win. All right? And this is an IBS league where people can pull things out of their butthole. And people can pull out comfort picks and new funky picks without having the opposing team having the security of being able to play around it super comfortably. And I think that if Hyperion channels the fire that I'm feeling in my mouth right now, that like Mount Doom bullshittery, God, fuck.
Let's go, Swifty.
Then they can make me happy.
Let's go.
And that's all I've got.
Okay. All right. You did it.
So we'll talk about it a little bit about it more next week as I am prepping this.
I am fucking
now.
sweating.
And
I put too much
turn.
on, by the way. I don't do what I did. I put way too much on.
Okay, so I've got my baggie of chicken katsu slices here that I made in my apartment. We're gonna put a little bit of that in there, and
Oh my
then
goodness.
we're gonna follow the procedure.
No,
that's with
by the
me.
way, no water, no milk, no nothing.
I will consume after I make my case. I will consume after
There's
I
no
make my
reason.
case. So we're shaking this up here. I am sure you can hear that. I know that I definitely is in front of the camera there.
This is terrible.
I am so happy. This is incredible.
I'm just happy I'm not.
We need to do
involved.
this each time. I hope you get involved next time, Deck.
I don't
This is
want
gonna be
to.
great.
You don't understand how much of a bitch I am with Spice. I can't. And I hate
What
it.
I was going to say though, there, Swifty, was that so this is our dab, was that Church of Aesol was the mid laner for the #1 seed on Division 2 before switching over to jungle for Hyperion.
See, that takes balls. Balls of steel or ovaries.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We're gonna heal. We're gonna now hear.
He's not a traitor. He's a trooper. Prevail. Prevail without knee.
All
I
right.
see you in the chat.
TD Shadow, Leper, what do you got for us? Why are they gonna win versus Hyperion tonight?
Well,
I want to make sure.
so
Trevor,
to
did you eat
start-
that whole thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got another one here too.
Oh my God.
Not acceptable.
Oh, there he goes.
There he is.
Oh, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Just write it out.
It's not.
It's not
so
true.
far, it's not the worst thing I've had. Oh, there it goes.
It's a creeper. Yeah, it's a creeper.
There it goes. Okay. So, couple things. First of all, let's talk about AD carries.
You can immediately see like the okay.
Unfortunately, Hyperion has the AD carry with the absolute lowest kill participation, even in Hyperion's wins. Clone Man has been doing work, doing the numbers, has been in the backbone of every one of these wins. Oh man, it feels like my tongue is swelling in my mouth.
I'm loving chat right now. I'm loving the video. This is great.
Oh man. Oh.
Get you some drink. Watch your eyes.
Okay. So, Nubtub Tupin has the lowest kill participation of any AD carry in the league, unfortunately. Clone Man has been putting out incredible work across the board there. On top of that, in the top lane, you've got Crockpot. Crockpot, one of the best top laners of last split. Crockpot has an incredible champion pool and is probably going to dominate this game. When TD Shadow wins, it is primarily due to Crockpot popping off. If Crockpot doesn't pop off, TD Shadow doesn't win.
Watch the eyes. Watch the eyes. Get around it.
it's just really hard to talk. Like
Yeah.
I actually don't feel that bad. It's when
Yeah,
I
you get,
talk
like,
that
high.
The issue. It's
Yeah.
really
It feels like I feel like I'm drunk. Not even gonna lie.
yeah. It's actually kind of amazing. I will do
Yeah.
this again. This is not.
Yeah, it's a little kind of fun.
It's
It's a
not
high,
as
dude.
bad as I thought it was. It's just difficult to speak.
This sounds awful. So Crockpot.
Decker's over here just not having a good time.
Decker's not having a good time. I'm having a great time actually. This was not as bad as I thought it would
Can I
be.
put a cheesy potato?
You guys some
Oh my god.
So, essentially, my argument is this: if 3 minutes is not able to carry through the jungle and is able to have the 75+% kill participation that he has in the wins that Hyperion has, then Hyperion is going to be in trouble. You've got the pieces across the board with the variety of mid laners that have played for TD Shadow. I'm a particularly big fan of See the Dark. Although Scoogerman has shown up quite a bit.
It's a great name, by the way.
It is a great name, and his Corki is fucking nuts.
Yeah, true.
Fucking nuts from the Corki. TD Shadow is a team that has found their roster earlier than some of these others. Hyperion has just found their roster. Same Strategy has just found their roster. RAR has, I don't know what their roster is. TD Shadow found their roster a couple weeks ago. Crockpot's been playing in top lane for 3 weeks, and that's when this team really seemed to turn around, is when they got that there and as they started to establish what was going to happen. This is a team that also has more stability, has more of a clear game plan, and has multiple options of how they want to play through things. Whereas Hyperion is one trick pony on one person's back. If one person fails, it's over. Hyperion is the 3 minute show. Either they can 1v9 or it's over. TD Shadow, you've got Clone Man, you've got See the Dark, you've got Crockpot. You've got 3 people that are capable of carrying, and you've got people all that can definitely apply the pressure and do what's necessary to bring it out from that point. TD Shadow has been a bit unstable, unfortunately, and there are possibilities that certain people may play in different games, right? But overall, you have tremendous stability and tremendous advantage, in my opinion, to TD Shadow, just from the fact that they have played together and they have drafted together. And this is not flame to anybody. You also have the fact that Toxin is coaching and drafting TD Shadow. Toxin, I think, is not an insignificant part of TD Shadow's success, given that they are somebody that is coming off of winning a chip with MIT. They have experience both in gold and silver as far as drafting and preparing and getting a team through long series like this and in clutch situations. And that is something that, compared with the leadership that Hyperion has, they don't have.
Okay.
We did it, buddy.
Great
High five.
You
Yes.
both
High five.
Honestly,
Way to go,
it's
Leopard.
not that bad. It's really not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
No, it really isn't that bad. Like, if you like spicy stuff, you will like this. This is
Yeah,
actually
well,
really
that's
nice.
a no.
Yeah,
That's a no for me.
I think
dog.
I put a little too much on the first
You
one.
probably did. I didn't go
I
that
coded.
hard.
But yeah, I have had disclaimer. I've done this before, but with far less. So this time I had to up the ante to make it feel like I was doing something new.
Push yourself.
Hey,
And it hurt.
just a little housekeeping. So again tonight we were gonna have GSG Delta versus Same Strategy on stream, as well as TD Shadow versus Hyperion on stream. Those are both. I'm pretty sure those are both happening. Is that Leopard? Do you know?
That's as far as what I'm looking at. As far as what production is saying, that is correct. We
So
are
you'll-
gonna have both.
You'll have good content tonight, and then next week we'll be back here with less spicy stuff, hopefully. And then
I'll do it again. I don't give a
with
shit.
some new
Text me and you next time. How about that?
Dude, I'm there. I'll order some right now.
Around the horn. We can-
Amazon.
Around the horn. Let's start with you, Tex. Anything else to say to the folks tonight?
Guys, I'm gonna get a little preachy. I always get a little preachy with stuff. In terms of like, just get out there and have fun, right? Obviously, biggest thing before your game, just take 5 minutes, get up, walk around, stretch, drink some water. It's gonna do more than just spamming one-on-ones. I promise. Make sure you get that warm-up in the game, but get your head cleared, get in there, have some fun, right? This is the most important thing we're doing here is having some fun in competition. Other thing I have to say is good luck to everyone on the Rift. Make sure to get out there. Have the playoffs is the best time. Is one of the best times. Like, it's the start of the season and playoffs. And the reason I love playoffs is that people get weird with this shit, man. You pick the weirdest damn comps, you go for the craziest plays, and that's what I want to see, right? Especially in the first round where it's either all or nothing, right? Like you're either in the rest of the playoff run or you're just out of there. So put it all out there. Get out there, go crazy, and yeah, just have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Be friendly to your teammates, communicate, all that good stuff.
All right, Swifty, to you, what you got for him?
I'm gonna piggyback off what Tech said. This is playoffs, right? This is where it's worth all the marbles. Every game you play matters. Remember, the thing that I like to remember every time I get into a game, doesn't matter if it's playoffs, doesn't matter if it's regular season, doesn't matter if it's scrim, is we are all here for the same reason. It's why I'm sitting on this analyst desk. It's why you're playing in these games tonight. You're here to have fun and you're here to improve. And keeping that mentality through the entire series, whatever you're playing, even if it's looking grim, that's what wins championships. Yep. I've been through it where all hope looked lost and we ended up, my teams have won championships just off that mentality alone. So remember that, be respectful to each other, have some fun out there, kick some ass, bring out some weird picks, and just show each other a good time. Have fun.
So now that I can kind of sort of think straight at the moment, I got a suggestion, given that it's only 7:30 and we got some time. Do we want to assign teams for next week now on stream so that people can call us on our shit when we
wait what about chat?
But we don't
if
know.
chat gives us
let me rephrase. We can assign 5 of them.
About to say, because we don't
and then
know,
we'll mix up from there.
We don't know some of
we don't know 3 of the teams that are playing next week, but we can assign 5 of them.
Hey, I think I'm down for that. Real quick, Leper, are you wearing a Feed the Dream shirt?
I am wearing a Feed the Dream shirt, yes.
And I'm wearing my Rev shirt. And Deck, are you wearing your GSG shirt?
No.
It's TSM.
Oh, wait. So close. So close.
My TSM pants.
There you go.
All right, well, we have 2 people who know what they're doing, and it's not the ones on...
Shit.
Well, hey, let's see. So we have BDE, Hivemind, Rev, Kappa, and FTD Black.
Yes,
right?
Those are the 5 that we can select from.
Let's
give it to Swifty because Swifty's the new guy. He gets any team he chooses.
I think I just dropped a quarter.
Any team I choose?
Out of those 5.
Of those 5.
Hit him again?
So we have Big Duck Entourage, Hivemind Gaming, Revolution Uprising, Goon Squad Gaming Kappa, and Feed the Dream Black.
Goon Squad Gaming Kappa, please.
Okay, Kappa is yours. We'll switch that to Leper. So you got BDE, Hivemind, Revolution, FTD Black.
Banger of the one-man stun.
Who's this for?
Leper.
Who's picking? Leper.
I want Revolution.
Revolution. All right. Now,
all right.
Text to you, BDE, Hivemind, or FTD Black.
I got. Okay, so I want to give you BDE because your boy Swag Money.
No, you knew I wanted it. You knew I wanted it.
I know you want it. I know you want it. So lucky enough, I really want to talk about Hivemind or Feed the Dream Black, because I really like the storylines that they have present, and if I pick FTD Black, I get to be mean to Mystic, and that's always a good time.
Actually, Tex, just because you can't accidentally end up going against somebody else, right? You have to take Feed the Dream Black.
Yeah.
Do I have to?
Yeah, that's all on one side.
True.
Oh, good call. All right, and
then I will take
Feed the Dream Black. Here we go.
I will take Big Duck Entourage. We will disperse the other side of the bracket after tonight's worked out. But hey, if you're on one of these teams, so to go around the horn, that Decker guy got BDE, Leper has Revolution, Swifty has GSG Kappa,
Goon Squad Gaming Kappa,
and Tex has Feed the Dream Black. If you're on
I'm sorry,
one of those
it's called Goon Squad Gaming Koopa because he's a king.
If you're on one of those teams, help us out. shoot us a DM and
Oh, yeah.
tell us why your team is strong.
Yeah,
And-
I want all of you, including you, Leopard. Tell me everything.
Yeah, let us know because we don't have time to look at all of your VODs and shit. We can't do that. So help us out. Help us make a case for your team. So if you're on one of those teams, let us know. Send us a DM and let us know what you think.
Absolutely. I want to hear it like it's an elevator pitch, like you're a Poindexter at a law firm and you're trying to get in there and pitch something to the big head lawyer or something. I don't know what I'm talking about, but get in there. I want it to be exciting. I want it to be full of energy. My DMs are open for that stuff, guys. This is gonna be great.
So after that, we'll call it there, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Did a little hot ones while we were here. I appreciate you, the two of you, boning up and doing that because there's zero chance that I would do that. So, hey, we'll see y'all next week, and good luck tonight. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.